Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
I'm good.
You're good.
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm tired again,
You're
but
tired
I'm
again.
I'm good.
Well, I'm glad that you're good. So, how's your week?
I'm Kevin, by the way.
You're Kevin?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's nice to know.
What's your name?
I have a few names.
What is your name?
We'll go with Francine.
Okay.
Mhm.
This is Kevin and Francine, and this is What in This World. It's been a long week. We've had a lot of stuff going on. It seems like we say that every week, but it's true.
It gets more interesting as it goes.
Yeah. Last week we were talking about just, I guess kind of like get to know us kind of thing.
Mhm.
So this week I think we're going to get a little bit weirder.
Yeah, let's.
Because there's been a lot of weird stuff happening this week that a lot of people don't realize. Like, a lot of earthquakes for some reason, too, in the last 2 weeks, which is kind of strange. But,
Yeah.
we're not going to go into the earthquake thing because people get bored.
Mhm.
So, I want to talk about a couple of things that are very interesting. One of them in particular, the Deacon of Metal guy, is Colby Foreman, the guy that he's on from Monday through Friday.
Right.
On from 3 to 8. And he sent me a link this week about how a Canadian photographer captured an unidentified flying object, and he wanted to ask, what I thought about it. I don't think it's a UFO.
What do you think it is?
I honestly, you know what I really think it is? You ever
What?
seen a sombrero in
Oh,
Mexico
come
that
on,
somebody
come
worked in a
on.
field?
No way.
I'm dead serious. You know how it's like you'll see the most decrepit sombrero, but it's not like a traditional sombrero.
Right.
It's got like pieces hanging off of it, like in a
That just
triangle.
says how our minds can
That's
just go wild.
That's really what it's almost like somebody took one of those hats and threw it up in the air,
I took a picture.
and literally that's what I think it is. I don't think it's a ship at all.
Mhm.
And if you want to know what we're talking about, you can go to whatinthisworld.org and look up under the A word. I really like that title, by the way.
The A word.
The A word.
Yeah, I saw that. I thought it was pretty cool.
Well, everybody's interested
Let's
in the
talk
A word.
about the A
I mean,
word.
you tell me. Get up and come look at this.
Okay, I will.
This picture. You
I'll
tell
give
me
you
if you
my
don't think this
opinion.
is a freaky hat that some dude had and he threw it up in the air. That is not a UFO. I'm sorry. That's a. I
It
mean,
looks like a messed up donut.
thank you. I
It's-
don't. I mean,
it-
I've seen
in my
a
mind,
UFO.
it looks like a messed up
And-
donut.
and
but
that
it
ain't
could
no
be a
UFO.
sombrero. Yeah.
Okay,
No, it doesn't look like it.
but it gets people thinking about it,
Yeah.
which is great. But I'm just being honest with you. Wildlife photographer Ken Rice from Oshawa, Canada, was shooting photos. By the way, in the background, it's not Mount St. Helens; it's a coffee pot.
It's coffee
Yeah,
pot.
it sounds like a freaking volcano going on. But basically, he says, June 17th, he saw something unusual suddenly appeared in his camera lens on June 21st. It was actually published, and his name is Ken Rice. But I'm being honest with you, it looks like somebody took a hat and threw it in the air and he shot it.
And people are. You see what people
Not
believe?
only that, he's a wildlife photographer, and if he's a good wildlife photographer, he's got at least a 7200 telephoto lens
Okay.
or bigger.
Right.
If he didn't get a clearer shot of this thing than that, then he's not a great wildlife photographer.
Great point. Great point.
Okay, from a guy who takes a lot of pictures, I'm telling y'all, this is not a UFO. And from a guy who's seen a UFO.
Okay. Let's
So,
move. Let's,
I'm just letting you know this is definitely a bullshit picture. I don't believe it's real at all, and you don't hear that from me a lot.
no.
You don't.
No. When you call bullshit, I usually listen.
I'm like, a guy says I thought it was a big turkey vulture, so I took a picture of it anyway, and then it kind of hovered, sat there for a minute, and then it took off. The other thing I think that's kind of funny is like when you Google somebody's name, you kind of find other
You can find him.
other pictures.
Yeah.
I think he's just somebody new who's trying to get his name out there. Maybe that's the
Yeah.
intuitive side of me,
Yeah.
but I'm telling you right now, I
it
don't
could
believe
it's
this
very
weird
good
looking
possibility.
farm hat is a UFO. I just
yeah.
don't.
And look, it's working. He's getting all kinds of attention.
Yeah, I mean he's getting publicity. He's on
Yeah.
our show.
He's on
So
our show.
I think
You
that's
said his
really
name.
what's going on there.
Yeah,
I
it could
really
be.
do.
So you had me kind of read an article about something that kind of poked its head out in some news recently that's
yeah. Well,
different.
something that actually is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Is dude, I said it was 2005. The CT scan actually shows 1997.
Mm-hmm.
So they have been knowing about this since May 19th, 1997.
Why do you think it just came out?
I don't know.
Okay.
That's a question for somebody else. But I mean, I do know this. There is a reason it's happening now.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's all over the media. It's all over the widespread media. I mean, when the video first came out, let me tell you what we're talking about. If you go to whainthisworld.org, you're going to see something under the a little weird category.
A little weird.
And it'll be at the top, but there's a section called a little weird. And if you click it, the first thing you see is a skeleton of a body that kind of has a curved spinal column, I guess you could say.
It looks like it's in a fetus position.
Yeah. And it's like that because it was a mummy. They apparently found a mummy in Peru. It says tomb uncovered with a possible visitor found in Peru.
Yeah.
So I got a copy of a screenshot of the CT scan as the actual picture, and it says May 19th, 1997. That's why I did
wild.
that. Because you won't pick up on it at first. If you're watching the video, you won't see 97
No,
right away.
I didn't see it.
I thought it was a little strange.
Yeah.
But if you scroll down a little bit, I'm going to read this. It says, in many years of researching various sightings and cover-ups and also hoaxes, I would have to say that if this find is an actual one, it may answer quite a few questions. Once again, we are simply asking you to decide because we know how many people enjoy being the one who states it's not real. Shouting out something you don't understand only makes you look like what we call a young soul.
Okay.
It says, or you may also be the one of the many employed to actually shout these things out, because there are people that do get paid on the internet to write negative shit on real shit. And I don't think people understand that, but it really is true.
Yeah, I've never heard
Snopes
that,
is actually owned by a federal agency. It was started by a federal agency. I mean, people don't realize that. So when I see people put Snopes articles somewhere, I literally want to slap them. Because not everything is fake, but not everything is a Snopes article.
True.
You know what I mean? And if it becomes one, you have to really think about that.
Well,
we are happy to know that there are still many people who are driven to learn, uncover, and find what they know is real. And I wrote that article. I'm not reading somebody else's article.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it says, and I don't think I wrote this because I don't write the word anomalous. But it says a new anomalous discovery has been unearthed in Peru. It's Gaia that actually is like streamlining this, paying for it. Join Gaia's online investigation and decide for yourself if this is proof of a non-human species. So basically, they have a video here, and apparently the video that went online, I think Fade to Black with Jimmy Church, and he does these podcasts, and there's I think Coast to Coast, and they talked about it. And apparently there was a video that was put online, and there were 5 million views in 24 hours.
No kidding. That's amazing.
I'm saying that for a reason. Like, people always talk about this stuff. They always talk about how they don't want to talk about the A word.
Well, it's uncomfortable because it's unfamiliar. And
they don't want to admit that they are curious.
They don't want to admit that they're curious.
Yeah.
And that's
There's two things people on this planet don't want to admit they're curious about.
Okay.
The A word. And if they're interested in the same sex.
I
find that really strange.
I could say, is that the same A word? I'm not going to.
Oh, that's interesting. You should say that.
You know what?
But no, I had to say that because it's true. You know, like in the 80s and 90s, like all we heard about was coming out the closet. Today, like, I hear all these people, not today, it's like literally all up in your face.
All up in your face.
Everybody's got flying out the closet, but finally, I think we might be getting to a point where people are not afraid to talk about the other A word.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
But it's true. I mean,
and I'll be honest with you. It's not something that I think about, and I'm curious about.
I'm not curious about it either.
No, I get it. If we're talking about it, it strikes an interest, and maybe I'm a little curious, but it's nothing that I think about on a daily basis. But
which A word are you talking about?
I'm talking about the
alien?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, that's
I'm just making sure. I'm clarifying that.
Good, I'm glad you did.
At home.
Yeah, I'm glad you did.
Okay.
So, but, It's an interesting topic, I have to say. And
Well,
wait 1 second. So I wanted to tell you, I had a group of people that I do talks, every week, usually every week, sometimes every other week, and there was an individual that was telling me that he saw this video.
okay.
No kidding. Isn't that crazy?
The same video.
The same video.
So he was one of the 5 million.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
5 million.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had that person in my space today. How crazy is that?
Today?
Today.
Okay.
Told me that he
But
viewed it.
what's interesting about the video is that, whenever you have a mummy wrapped, like you could kind of see features of the way that the thing looked. And when you're looking at the video, you can really see humanoid features in this particular species. So, the thing that's really weird about these species is that it has about 12.5-inch fingers on each hand.
Yep.
And, I'm thinking to myself, how the hell would I make it with 12.5-inch fingers on my hand?
Mm-hmm.
I thought about that for about 4 days,
Mm-hmm.
like, that's pretty interesting within itself. Like, this dude could literally phone any country he wanted to home. And like, I'm serious. Like, because to me, when they made E.T.,
yeah,
they knew about this. Because,
yeah.
E.T.'s fingers were, like, elongated.
There's a lot of, yeah. It makes you think there's a lot.
Steven Spielberg, I'm going to just say it right now. Like, all these dudes, all these guys that are millionaire producers.
They know stuff.
There's no way in hell they don't know about
They know
this.
stuff.
They've been given top secret information to make these movies.
Oh, yeah.
And they know about this. Because all this stuff is coming out now, 30 years later.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're millionaires. And we're just learning about this?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man. It's bullshit.
Yeah. Interesting, because this one has organs intact. And
Yeah, the organs are still there.
Right.
So they've done a lot of different research on. I think and it's also another thing. Like we just came out with a new thing, so you have to buy it in order to watch it. Mm-hmm. Gaia paid all this money to do this and get this out, so you have to join Gaia in order to watch it. So, but you can watch the introductions and stuff, but the details you have to be a Gaia member, which is $9.99 a month. So I know this because I used to be a Gaia member.
Okay.
So I'm just saying. Gaia is a good station. I think it's actually the only thing positive on TV, in my opinion. But I just think it's interesting that people are interested, one, and they're finally looking at it from a perspective where they're not a skeptic. Mm-hmm. Because all these years that people have gone, hey, I want proof. You don't have any proof. You don't have any proof. Hey, we want proof. Hey, Snopes says it's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's not. It's really not.
It's people wanting their certainty.
Yeah, there are so many people online talking about the experiences they've had, what they've seen, what they've experienced, just being around it. As a worker from a military base, or you have Corey Good talking about the secret space program, which is I could tell you this. I don't exactly believe the blue avians are real, but I do believe there is a blue species that is real.
Yeah.
I don't believe it's a bird head, though.
What would it?
I don't think that everything. You have to kind of like do your own intuitive thing with it, but I don't think it's blue avians. It might be for him because that's how his brain perceives it.
That's exactly what it is. It's how your brain perceives it.
That's just my take on it, So, and it might be. What I see is what I perceive.
I really think that's what it is. I really think
it might be, because I think that the story that pops in my head all the time is that whenever the tribal society that was here before Christopher Columbus came here and created problems. I'm sorry, because basically they didn't understand what a ship was, so it took them like a couple of days to see it. Your brain, if you don't think something's real, your brain will not perceive it to be real. And people don't understand that, and if it's forced upon you, it could create problems, because it takes 2 days for the brain to process. So, but I think the story that they talk about is that whenever he walked to the water, and he saw the edge of the water on the beach, he saw vibrations and the frequency currents that were washing on shore. And for doing it for so many years, he knew that it wasn't the same.
Interesting.
So to be that observant is
That's
pretty awesome.
That is really awesome.
I mean, but that's how he understood that something was coming.
Wow.
He could look on the horizon, but he didn't see a ship because he didn't understand what it was. Never seen that before. So basically, imagine that being you, standing on a beach, looking at the current, going, "This current is not right. There's something not right about what's I'm seeing. There's something there." The thought of him thinking there's something there made him see it 2 days later because his brain had percepted it.
That's a good point. That's
So
a great story.
it's just one of those things that I think people don't understand because they don't think, or they go, "Oh, that's deep." It's not. It's just thinking.
Yeah. What happens if you go deep thinking? What happens?
I mean, people are afraid of that
expand,
today, and I think that is scary for me because I'm like, I don't want to be the only person thinking about something deep.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, you limit the people that you can have conversations with.
Well, this is what scares the hell out of me. How do you know you're in love if you wasn't ever thinking deep? You know? It's true. I mean, did you just like choose a fly-by-night situation because you felt like you needed to?
Yeah.
That's the way I think.
All the time.
And I'm like, okay, cool. Maybe I don't need to be with. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, I think about everything. So when I look at all these things, interrogation comes to mind. Because like when I start interrogating somebody, it's pretty bad for that person because like the stuff that'll come in my mind is like not normal, and it'll choke them up and throw them off. So when they start getting choked up, they're wondering in their mind like, where's this person going, and they won't ever figure it out. So
yeah, and a lot of times
it's kind of like when we were reading a book. You had a lot of questions.
I had a lot of questions,
and you got a lot of answers that you never knew you were going to get.
And if I wasn't satisfied with the answer, I kept throwing out more questions until I was, okay, I can maybe wrap my mind around it.
Yeah, but, I mean, it's still one of those little thoughts that you're like, you would never go, oh, that's deep. No, it's not. It's a thought. To me, a thought is not deep. A thought is why you're alive. To create things, to inspire people to want to do more thinking.
What's your definition of kind of on the surface stuff and below the surface? You hear that? Oh, that's just surface
When
stuff.
I hear somebody say it's deep, it means it's too much for me. That's what I feel.
Yeah.
I feel that energy from that person. I'm like, when somebody says that's deep, they're like, holy shit, I really don't need to be here right now. That's honestly how I feel.
When they're initially saying we're going to talk about something deep?
No, when I say something and they say that's deep.
Oh. Yeah, because you think it's just normal. It's like just...
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
And I think that's why people don't. What I'm saying is, I'm not trying to go off on a tangent. I'm saying this as an example of why people don't openly express the A word.
Yeah, that's a great way to lead into that.
You know? But I'm also on the understanding of saying you don't force people to understand it. They do it when they're ready. Because the brain does. I know that the brain, picks the information up every 2 days.
The brain is calling BS on it.
You can't make a decision. That's why they say when you sleep on it, it's good to sleep on the decision, because if a salesperson forces you to make a decision right away, it's an what do you call it? Spontaneous decision.
Yep.
That you probably shouldn't make, because you may, after 2 days, after your brain processes, you may go, holy shit, what did I do?
Or you could talk yourself out of it and go to, what I mean?
It's not, but it's really, do you need it, is the question. Your brain doesn't realize it needs something until 2 days after it processes it. So when you know that, you may have a lot better situation. Like, do I need to get married? Process that shit for 2 days.
Yeah.
That's why it's so difficult whenever she don't know you giving her a ring, because like she's like on the spot, especially if you're in public.
Especially if you're in public and she hasn't even thought about it.
Yeah.
She should think about it.
Well, I think that you should definitely think about it, and I go, oh my God, that's deep when he throws a ring on you. You know?
Yeah.
Because to me, if you do that, you're basically saying, I don't know if I can handle this right now. Mm-hmm. And he don't hear that. Mm-hmm. He's going, holy shit, did she just tell me no? Mm-hmm. And then you got a big fight, and they both need to process that information for 2 days.
Yeah.
You know?
So, what are the benefits of going deep?
What are the benefits of going deep?
Mm-hmm. Or opening your mind to...
That didn't sound good.
Oh.
But no, I mean, I'm just saying, like, to me, I think the benefits of just of hearing everything that you could possibly hear, it makes you more intuitive about the life that you are living today.
That's what I'm getting at. Yep.
Whenever you are living the life that you are living today, you don't go, hey, I don't think I want to deal. I don't think I don't want to deal with that. You have more responsibility. You have more creative ideas. You don't look at your life and go, oh my God, where have I done? You don't look at yourself in the mirror and go, I don't like who I am. Oh my God, do I need to take a selfie? So I need to do, oh my God, I didn't get 147 likes today. What's wrong with me? You don't do that shit.
Good. That's good stuff. And there's no judgment there. You're not judging yourself.
No.
You're not going, ooh, maybe I shouldn't think this way, or maybe I shouldn't look at it that way, or...
You should never look at yourself and go, why did I not get 30 likes today?
Never. You
should never do that.
No.
You know, that's the deep side of the world going, hey, F you.
It's in
your own perception of spontaneous thinking.
Right.
Like that, because it's true.
You need to find out why you need that much validation.
You know, if you have an issue with yourself, don't let the rest of the world judge you. You know, because you'll never fix your problem. Mm-hmm. Because the worst of the world is never going to fix your problem. It's never going to happen. And sticking a picture out there in front of 3,000 people, wondering why they didn't like it, is only going to screw your mind up and make you think that something's wrong with you, when there's nothing wrong with you at all.
Nothing wrong with you. Quit posting the selfies. I mean, if you're doing a fun one, that's fine. But one every day. I mean, I don't get into Snapchat, but I've seen kids do it like at the dinner table. Like,
well, you're going to see kids eventually have a lot more problems as they get older. Like right now, the statistic on suicide is like super through the roof. Yeah, it's like 1 in 8 people have this thought now, or something.
I have a few teenagers.
Think about that for a second.
Oh, it's really bad. But I have a few people on my Facebook that are, in their teens or 20s. Not many of them, but they're all taking pictures of their cleavage and in bathing suits and in front of a mirror, and I'm like...
They're like 16, 17 years old.
Yes! What's up with the parents?
Yeah. And
some of the parents are doing it too.
I mean, like, and then you got this crazy person. I was supposed to put this on the website this week, but the dude's face scared me so bad. And I'm not being an asshole. I'm just saying, it like literally was the epitome of what they say a pedophile is.
Okay.
It was. The dude literally had this head where literally, and he wrote, and they quoted him like saying, "Oh, it's part of the hunt for me. I like the hunt."
That's horrible.
I'm like, you got to be joking, dude.
It's a little sick.
It's
a lot sick.
And to me, this is a dude that all he did was all day was sit at home and probably look at, crazy stuff online.
That's just a mental.
And it got to the point where he was addicted to it.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't happen overnight, people. Okay, I'm telling you, it don't happen overnight.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but it's. Yeah, I mean, I've heard of the addictions.
It's sad.
Yeah, it is sad.
Because I think this craziest story I think I've ever received from a world news post was one that I saw. I think it was in Argentina. And we did have it online before they deleted our stuff, which it really was awesome. I mean, there was a man who apparently messed around with a bunch of children. And
that's just sick.
The group, he went to jail. The group of people, when he got out of jail, the group of people, apparently the parents of the children, went and found him. And where did they find him? They found him at a church playing the trumpet in Argentina.
I know, it's
okay.
That's scary.
He was like playing music with the choir. They walked into the church and beat him with his instrument until he died inside the church. They killed him.
Wow.
With his own instrument.
Wow.
You never heard anything about that on media? You never heard anything about that?
Yeah, I said I know because I hear stories all the time of preachers, and I mean...
Well, to me, I don't know how a priest can go, oh my God, I want to do that. I don't have a clue in my mind how that's even possible. No,
because our brains are not.
All it does is make people question the church.
Yeah.
And all it does is make people question what God is and all these other things.
It's not just the priest.
And that's what
preachers.
Kind of burns me up, because it's like, that's given like a whole distorted view of what
it is, and
what it all is.
It is. I mean, it's.
But
exactly.
Can you blame them?
I mean, I get where they're coming from. But you need to have your own relationship with God.
And that's why I don't believe that every priest should be giving you advice.
No,
I don't believe that one bit.
Not relationship advice.
Not at all. That's like
not at all.
That's like that's like a life coach or a business coach giving you some sort of advice on your children if they have no children. Don't do it, people. Like, ask them, do you have children? That'd be the first question you should ask.
Yeah,
because
you need to be able to relate somehow.
I remember the movie with Tony Danza. What's it called? It was a movie with Ami Dolenz, Mickey Dolenz from the Monkees' daughter.
Okay.
Basically, they had this guy named Dr. Fishbaum, and they were on a radio show. And literally, Dr. Fishbaum had written a book about how to raise your teenage daughter, and he'd never had a child. And Tony Danza, the character, asked him at the end of the movie, after going through all this craziness with his daughter, he goes, "Wait, you don't have a daughter?" And they literally get into a fist fight in the radio studio and fly out of the window. And like literally, they're at the end of the movie, they're both like, "People loved it. We're going to make a radio show out of this," It was serious, like, because he had gone through all this crap with his daughter, and none of it was probably good advice. He should have just went on his own thoughts and said, "I love my daughter, I trust my daughter," and, all he did was make him paranoid.
Yeah.
That's all he did.
Look,
that's why
I've read a lot of books, listened to a lot of people, listened to a lot of podcasts, listened to a lot of stuff. Not everything is gospel. You have to use your judgment.
I mean,
there's.
I'm not going to say
there's good and there's truth in a lot of it, but you really just have to use your own.
You really have
system.
to, look at yourself, and that's why I think that I like talking about who you are as a person, because do you know?
A lot of people don't.
Do you really know? When you look at yourself, and when I look at myself and I go, it's so amazing that I created this, or it's so amazing that I made this. It's so amazing that I had this thought.
Yeah.
How was that possible?
Yeah.
When I start thinking like that, I don't go, "Oh, that's deep." I go, "Thank you."
That's it.
Okay.
That's it.
To me, I am not deep. I am no different than anybody else. I think everybody else has the same abilities as just about anybody on this planet, no matter what color or what you think you are.
You just don't know that you have.
You just have a lot more anger, and you need to release that shit. And I had a lot of it too. I mean, nobody's perfect here.
No.
I'm saying, like, we've all had issues. We all have issues, and we all go through our own crazy bullshit.
Right.
But the number one thing that I have learned through every bit of research I've ever found, and any alien can't give you the keys to life. You still have to look within yourself and figure out what it is that you do, and what is, why do you wake up every day? You're the one that has to answer that question. So why not be accepting of you, number one?
Yeah. Well, when you were born, were you good enough?
That's a question I can't even answer. I don't know. I mean, to me, when you're born, do you even have a thought?
No, but I'm just saying, were you good enough? I mean, would most people say they were probably good enough?
Well, my story is a little unique, because when I was born, I've never even met my biological mother.
Let me just ask everybody else. When you were born, were you good enough?
Most
people
would say
will say yes. Absolutely, without a doubt.
I would say yes.
Well, why are you not good enough now?
Right.
You are.
Yeah.
You just have to believe
and that's
it.
daily. This is not a, like, people always ask me that about the birthday, because I always say, your birthday is when you were it's a reminder of when you were vulnerable. And they go, what does that mean? And I go, to me, it's a reminder of when you were most vulnerable on the planet, when you came into the planet. And they go, I guess I never thought about it like that. And I go, well, that. If you ask me that question, that's what I'm going to tell you.
Mm.
You know, I don't really think I need candles and all this stuff. I think it's awesome that people love each other and they want to do stuff for each other. But I don't look at I don't look at it the same way as a lot of people, I guess.
Yeah, and that's cool.
To me, it's a reminder of vulnerability of where you are right now and what did you not do this year that you should have done.
Yeah.
So you do it again, and you try it again.
Yeah.
So.
That's really cool. And.
So what else happened this week?
What else happened this week?
I don't want to give too much. I mean, I know I start talking and we get into like.
Yeah, we could go off into some stuff, but it's all good and a lot of it's
true.
guided.
I mean, the number one thing, ultimately, that I feel like beyond anything you can believe in, and I'm saying this for a reason. I'm not knocking anybody's religion or anything. I think religion, if you believe in something higher than yourself, I think if it works for you, then you should.
Definitely.
I truly believe that because it makes you considerably think about where you're going and how to move forward. If music is your religion, then shit, let it be it. Because I think that music is, to be honestly, the number one thing on this planet that keeps people sane.
Yeah. I mean, my religion is love.
Yeah. But it's all frequency. Every bit of it is frequency. Anything that you can state is an output of a frequency.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm a believer, I'm a believer of something higher. And I would believe that it's all love.
I know I am.
Yeah.
But just the fact that I'm still alive, I know that there's something higher than me, for sure. Yeah. So I just know that, when I look at people and I go, when I talk to people and I'm like, wow, you've been through this. What got you through it? And they go, what was this? I'm like, yes, what else got you through it?
Yeah.
It's you.
Yeah.
So you don't need 100 likes. You don't need
one freaking like.
100 comments. And you don't need 100 shares.
How about you just shut? If
you have a business, it might be good. But if you have a picture of yourself and you let other people judge you based on what you look like that day, like, who cares who likes it?
Who cares? Don't worry about it. Don't.
And I'm saying that because I really do care about people feeling like I am good enough to do what it is, because to me it's a purpose of community.
Thing.
And if you look at yourself and you go, you know what, I'm happy with me and I accept me for who I am.
Put the phone away for a while turn it off.
But you have a better area. Like, if everybody literally woke up at one day and said, hey, I accept who I am, I love who I am, do you have any idea what kind of changes would happen on this planet? A lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It would probably take 2 days to process.
It would take maybe a week to process, but we would have a major shift.
We would have a major change on this planet.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. Let's make shift happen right now.
If people would turn the TV off
let's all
for
love
a couple
each
of
other.
days.
Love ourselves.
Yeah.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Just give yourself some love.
It's funny to me because, like, I'll see these posts and these articles about people, and they're like, I didn't drink for a year. This is what happened. Click here, and then there's 18,000 Google ads, and then you find out what happened.
Oh man!
So, like, it's true, and then this person looks completely different. They look 15 years younger. I mean, they tell you, my friends couldn't stand me.
Yeah.
I found out my friends were not my friends. I found out, So why not accept yourself from the start? Because you don't even know if the people around you are going to be your friends in 5 years.
That's right.
It's true.
And it's all about them and their stuff and what they're going through. It's not about you. It's never about you. Never.
Yeah.
Never, never, never. It's about whatever they're going through and whatever triggers them. You could have 10 people in a room, and I may say something, and 5 of them, it might not even affect. They may like it, they may not. They might be just kind of even keeled with it, no emotion, and you may have 5 that get super hyper, sensitive about what I said. So is it about me or is it about them? It's about them.
Yeah.
And their trigger.
Yeah.
So don't worry about what people think and don't take it personally. Just rock who you are.
Yeah. So, what else is going on?
Oh, now that I kind of went off of my thing.
Let me ask you something. What is your favorite kind of music that you like?
I like music that makes me feel good. I like Seal. So it's really kind of
Okay.
pop.
You like Seal?
I do. I'm like, I love
Yeah, we don't
Seal.
play that on rock. They don't play that on rock.
No.
I haven't heard Seal in a long
you
time,
know what?
actually.
Okay, the song that I've been listening to lately, because it kind of gets my vibration up, and I played it at my workshop, and everybody thought it was cool. It's just something that I thought about. Like, I was thinking about a cool song to play for something. I like classic rock. Okay, I like Van Halen, "Dancing in the Street." There's several versions, but if you ever hear the Van Halen version, it is freaking awesome. It'll get you going. You need to listen to it. Do you know what song I'm talking about? It's
exactly
an old song. I forget the artist. Came out like maybe in the 60s.
Yeah, it was. I think Rolling Stones did it.
Rolling Stones had a version, but I'm telling you, the Van Halen is my favorite.
There's
Crank that baby up.
Well, I learned a lot more about you today.
Did you?
Yeah. We don't have that song either.
All right, let me think of a song. I don't know. I mean,
now I know why the
I like
world is
Flow
called
Rider
classic rock,
too.
because the majority of you have a lot of people in that population gap that are in that age bracket that apparently that's what they would rather listen to. It's crazy though, because in Louisiana we actually have a lot of people that listen to rock and metal from every genre you can imagine. And I think that it was very deep of them. And I have my fingers up. It's very deep of them to want to learn more about the older music. Because I see that when I go places, I'm like, okay, this kid just played a song from the '60s. I'm like, interesting, And then they'll come into their own original stuff, and it's not anything like it, but they're playing originals too at a young age, and I'm like, wow,
That's cool.
So to me that's cool. And I think that's the fascination with people in general, with people on stage, is the fact that they're on stage, because there's a lot of people that are scared to death to get up in front of people. I think that's changing as we go down the years. I think that more
stage
people
fright is debilitates people, and it's one of the biggest fears out there. People would almost prefer death.
And all you really are doing is talking to people that you don't know.
And it's just communicating. It's not even about you. It's about the audience.
Yeah.
So if you get that, if you wrap your mind around that, it's a little easier to do.
I think if you can handle that fear, you can handle a lot.
It used to be a fear of mine, and now I'm doing it.
Yeah.
15 years ago, I would have said, I'm going to fake a stomachache.
I'm going to throw this one out there, because this one is going to be out there.
Throw it.
If you were on vacation in Peru, and you just so happen to stumble upon a cave or something, A, would you go in it? And B, if you ran across a dude with 12.5-inch fingers on each hand,
I'd have to process it for
what
2
would
days.
you say to this thing? What was to be the first question that you would say?
I'd have to talk to this mummy.
Well, if it wasn't a mummy.
Yeah,
if it was real,
if it was real,
what would you say to this
I
thing?
would say, am I freaking dreaming, or are you real? If you're real, okay, I have a lot of questions. Number one, where are you from? How long are y'all? Are there more? How old are you? Where do you come from?
Okay, because I think I'm asking this question because the majority of people, once they realize that this is actually something that is possible, because I think the biggest problem with this whole situation is that people think it's not, but once they process the fact that it is, the questions are going to be coming like a flood. So I think you should have your questions ready, because eventually it's going to get to that point. If this was seen in 1997, and we got it when? 2017? 10 years later? What's going to happen in the next 10 years? We've got an actual body with organs. You
said 97 or 2007?
97.
So 20 years.
May of 97.
Yeah, 20 years.
20 years. Okay. Math is not my strong suit, apparently.
Okay.
So, but what I'm saying is, what's going to happen in 20 years from now? What do we not know? This is the question that pops in my head.
That's deep.
If this was out in 97, okay, it was a year after I got my first car.
Wow. You're such a baby.
Okay. Didn't even think about an alien. I haven't even seen the movie A.T. until... I still haven't seen the whole movie, to be honest with you.
Really? You need to see it. It's cool.
But what I'm saying is, just what I've been programmed to know about E.T., big fingers, kids apparently weren't scared, and Steven Spielberg, he's full of shit. He says that he just came up with that idea. Somebody handed him that idea. I do know that. Because you wouldn't be finding this 20 years later.
Yeah.
Very similar E.T. looking, humanoid, alien looking dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
In Peru.
So what question would you have for this alien?
Well, first of all, I don't believe it would have it would listen to me, because it would know what I'm thinking before I would even say anything. That'd be my honest take.
Yeah.
Number two.
What would you be thinking that it would pick up on?
Well, I mean, I'm not really one to just go hanging out in caves. So I'd be like, maybe we should find some light, and then maybe think about getting in the cave.
Okay.
But I think they can sense anger and fear. And I think that's why they don't go around blasting people, because they know that humans are very emotional people. I think that they know that, and I think that anything with this sort of capability, I think that it's definitely telepathic. That's just how I truly feel about it. I think that they know what we're thinking before we think it, and I have my own experience with that.
That'll be another good show we'll have to talk about.
Oh, that'll be a whole nother show, because once I open that can of worms, trust me, people are gonna be like, "You got to be joking." So, but yeah, I mean, I think if you think for a second like that, you want to corn on the cob, they know.
They know.
So, I think that the majority of people that have ever dealt with these people in the military, I truly believe that they're masters of their own minds, and I think that they're masters of their own thoughts, and I think there is a training procedure that you go through in order to get to this point where you are able to question.
I've read a little bit, not a whole lot, definitely not as much as you, but I've heard of some being around us that we can't even see, but they're here to help us.
I would be very concerned of anything that popped up. I think there was a remote viewer that says it best. He says there are 4 kinds of entities. Not entities like we know about.
Right.
Entities that are alienish. He says, and it makes so much sense. He says there's 4 questions you need to ask yourself. 1, there's 4 categories, he says, that they put them in. Different species. He says, A, do they like us? And are they psychic? And that's the P word that nobody likes, but I mean that's what he says. Are they intuitive? Do they like us? Are they not intuitive? Do they don't like us? And apparently, there's classifications that they stated, because
I've heard there's some
if it does
that
like
don't.
us, that's good.
Yeah.
If it's psychic, that's good.
Yeah.
But
I think if they like us, period, it's good.
Well, yeah, but the thing about it is, apparently, the ones that are psychic and don't like us, they don't like us for a reason.
What do you think?
I think that the reason they don't like us is because we have far more potential than them.
Okay.
And they don't like that. Because I think that
it threatens them.
Why do you not like another? Growing up as a child, why did you not like somebody? Because maybe they were bullying you, or maybe they were doing. It's the same thing in this situation.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Because if somebody's a lot more smarter, a lot more intuitive than you, and they're trying to manipulate you, they can do it. And these things have the ability to do that too, and that's why we should be careful, because you have to be smart
Right.
about when it comes to this kind of stuff, you got to think of yourself as going, hey, I am a species,
Yep.
and this is a species too.
So this is gonna.
What is this thing? You need to act as a responsibility for your species when you come in contact with something like this. Anybody that's going, hey, I want to come on your ship, you're an idiot. And that's my true take on it. Okay? Because if you're going to be that open, about your whole vessel and your soul, like, being taken upon a ship that you have no idea what the hell it is, just because you think it's cool, you have no idea what can happen to you in that way. I mean, you're opening yourself up to, you don't know what it is. You have no idea what it is. So when my take on this is a couple of different takes that I've heard, and I truly do agree with that. If you see anything like a ship or something that is not of this world, you should probably not go up to it. You should give it some time and think about it. You should not be going, oh, take me with you.
No, you should not.
The experience and the research that I've seen, first of all, first contact, I mean, you could possibly die because the bacteria is different. Especially if they were encapsulated. So, like, I mean, what I see, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, because our environments are not the same. Where they are from, we are not from. Anybody that's even living underground, we have to have vitamin D. So, if these things are underground, they probably don't need as much vitamin D. So right away, we're different. If I have to speak to you in the English language at that, and these things don't have to speak at all, you know right away they can manipulate us. Because if you can know what I'm thinking, how the hell can you not change what I'm thinking? And that's the first thought that I have.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and that's why I don't think it's deep to be prepared, because to me preparation is smart. I think if you walk up as an overall responsible species of the human race, and you did come in contact with something like this, they would be far more respectful to the fact that you didn't go, hey, please take me with you. Oh my God, I don't want to be here no more. You don't think that they're going to say that about where they come from, do you?
No.
You know different than a chick who some guy's trying to bang, and she's like, oh, please.
Right.
He's not going to respect you.
Right.
They're not going to respect us if we give them that, if we do the exact same thing.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I like what you're doing something pretty good.
Well, it's true. I mean, like, it's everything. It's just the responsibility and the way that we need to start thinking of ourselves as saying, hey, we are a human race, and we have far more capabilities than we possibly can imagine. We can do things that and you put us in the same room together and we all have the same thought, it's even stronger.
Yep.
These things are petrified of that. They are petrified that we figure this out. And I promise you that is absolute fact.
Well, I like what you said about if they can know what we're thinking, they can change. What if they can change what we're thinking?
Well, we just finished a whole book about entity possession. So, do you really think they can't change what we're thinking?
Isn't that's a good way to put it?
They absolutely can. And I think that they are part of the society that is changing our thinking? Yes. If you really think for a second that you watch TV every day and it doesn't affect your mind, you're crazy. Because every single person I know that watches the news, all they do all day is talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah, what you're watching on TV, the people that you hang around with, is all an influence on how you feel, your behavior, your decision making, your self-confidence, all of that. So
you are under control every day if you watch TV. Yeah, you may not think you are,
the key is to be in control and don't clutter your mind with crap.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I could tell you this. I mean, it may be a deep episode too. But it definitely is one that will make you think after you think about it for 2 days. Yeah. So don't comment until 2 days after. I don't care if you like it either, but think about it because it is true. It really is. You should think of yourself as not only being happy with you, you are a representative of the human race. Because I'm being honest with you. You are.
Represent.
And if you're not, you might not be human. Something else to think about.
Something else.
So,
that
I don't know how long this episode was, but I'm glad it was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. And
they really got to know us this time.
They really did, and they'll get to know us even more. Yeah. So go listen to the Van Halen "Dancing on the Street" song. Let me know how you like it.
The first song that pops in my head is "Oh, What a Feeling, What a Dancing on the Ceiling."
No, it's not that one.
I know, but that's the first song that pops in my head when you say this.
That's funny. So we'll be talking again in a few weeks, and you guys go rock the rest of your week and have an awesome weekend.
Yeah, have a good weekend. And thank you for watching What in This World. And go to the website, because we're going to keep posting stuff, and that's kind of what we're going to be talking about. So if you have questions, feel free to send it to us. And thank you, Rock, Louisiana, for allowing us to speak about this so openly. Have a good day, and have a good weekend.